Hello, and welcome to Communicate to Lead, the podcast that empowers leaders and aspiring leaders to communicate with clarity and impact. I'm Kele Belton, CEO and successful entrepreneur, and your host for today. I'm here to equip you with all the essential tools and strategies to master effective communication and lead your team to success. As the founder and CEO of The Tailored Approach, my goal is to empower you to be the best leader you can be. So sit back, relax, and join me in today's episode as we dive into the art of communicating like a true leader. You finished presenting your quarterly results to the leadership team. Your numbers are strong, your team is engaged, and you have successfully delivered every project this year. As you're packing up your materials, you overhear your manager talking to the VP about the upcoming senior director role that just opened up. We need someone with more executive presence, your manager says. Someone who can really drive strategic initiatives at the organizational level. You freeze. You've been managing strategic initiatives for 2 years. You've built executive presence. You are ready for that next level, but clearly, they don't see it. I see you nodding along. You are in the right place, my friend. Welcome back to Communicate to Lead. I'm your host, Kele Belton, and today we're talking about one of the most frustrating experiences in professional life. When you know you are ready for a promotion, but your manager doesn't see it. When you are doing senior level work, but still being viewed through a middle management lens. Now, if you heard episode 112, where I talked about why hard work isn't getting you promoted, you learned about the 5 key areas where others are getting ahead while you are staying stuck. Today, we're going deeper into your manager's mind specifically. What are they actually evaluating when they think about promotional readiness? And more importantly, how can you influence that evaluation? If you are listening to this episode at the end of September or in October, you are probably thinking about performance reviews, year-end conversations, and what 2026 might hold for your career and leadership. Perfect timing, because today I'm going to show you exactly why there's a disconnect between how you see your readiness and how your manager sees it, and how to close that gap. We are going to cover the invisible criteria that nobody tells you about, why being excellent at your current job can actually work against you, and the 3 shifts you need to make to be seen as promotion ready by the people who make those decisions. By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly what your manager is looking for and have a clear action plan for the next 3 months to position yourself for that promotion conversation. Let's start with the hard truth. There are 2 sets of criteria for promotion. The ones they tell you about, and the ones they actually use to make decisions. The official criteria typically includes phrases such as consistently exceeds expectations, proven strategic leadership, and demonstrated organizational impact. And here's the thing, you've probably achieved all of this. You don't simply hit your numbers, you crush them. You are not only thinking strategically, you are the strategic thinker your manager relies on. Your team doesn't simply respect you, they produce exceptional results under your leadership. But here's what your manager and other decision makers are really evaluating. And this is where most women in middle management get stuck. First, they are looking for organizational thinking, not merely departmental success. This is huge. When you are in middle management, you naturally focus on your team, your projects, your departmental goals. That's literally your job. But senior leaders are thinking about how decisions ripple across the entire organization. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are presenting a new process improvement for your team. A middle manager presents it as, this will increase our team's efficiency by 20%. A senior leader would present it differently, and they would say something like, this approach could be scaled across 3 departments, potentially improving organizational efficiency while reducing costs and creating better customer experiences. It's the same project, but completely different framing. The second version shows you're thinking like a senior leader, not simply managing your corner of the business. Second, they are evaluating your comfort with ambiguity and complexity. Middle management often involves solving defined problems with clear parameters. Senior leadership involves making decisions with incomplete information, managing competing priorities, and navigating organizational politics. Your manager is watching to see if you get frustrated when things aren't clear-cut, or if you can thrive in that complexity. Do you come to them with problems, or do you come with multiple solution options and your recommendation? Do you get derailed by organizational changes, or do you help your team navigate them confidently? Third, they are looking for influence beyond your direct authority. This is often where many women leaders struggle because we are often hesitant to step outside our official role boundaries. But senior leaders have to influence peers, senior stakeholders, and cross-functional teams where they have no formal authority. Your manager is watching to see if you can get things done through other people who don't report to you. Can you build consensus? Can you persuade without positional power? Can you represent your team's interests in senior level discussions? And finally, and this is the one that often surprises people, they are evaluating whether you see yourself as a senior leader. This isn't about arrogance or overconfidence. It's about whether you naturally position yourself as someone who belongs at that level. Do you offer strategic insights in leadership meetings, or do you wait to be asked? When there's a cross-functional challenge, do you step up to lead the solution, or do you wait for someone else to take charge? Do you introduce yourself as someone who drives organizational results, or someone who manages a good team? Your manager is constantly calibrating their perception of your readiness based on these signals. And here's the thing. You might be demonstrating senior leadership qualities, but if you're not framing them correctly, they won't be seen. I worked with a client, let's call her Maria, who was incredibly frustrated because she'd been passed over for promotion twice. She was hitting all her targets, her team was top performing, and she was leading several strategic initiatives. However, when we examined how she discussed her work, she consistently positioned herself as a contributor rather than a leader. So instead of saying, I identified an opportunity to optimize our customer onboarding process, she would say, I was asked to look at our customer onboarding process. Instead of her saying, I developed a framework that 3 other departments are now implementing, she would say, I helped create a framework that's getting some traction. Those are the same accomplishments, but the language positioned her as someone executing senior leadership vision, not someone capable of creating that vision herself. The invisible criteria aren't about politics or favoritism. Although those things definitely exist, you know that, I know that, we've talked about that. These invisible criteria are about demonstrating that you already think, operate, and position yourself at the next level. Because promoting someone is always a risk, and senior leaders want to see evidence that you are ready for that bigger scope before they give it to you. Now, let's talk about something that might sound counterintuitive. Why being excellent at your current job can actually work against your promotion prospects. I call this the excellence trap, and it catches high-performing women all the time. You pour all your energy into being the best middle manager possible. Your team loves you, your projects succeed, your manager knows they can count on you to deliver. But instead of being seen as promotion ready, you become indispensable in your current role. Here's what happens. You become so good at executing that people can't imagine you strategizing. You become so reliable at managing that they can't picture you leading at the organizational level. You become the go-to person for getting things done, which can make them unconsciously categorize you as an executor rather than a visionary. This is particularly challenging for women because we're often socialized to be helpful, to say yes, to ensure everything runs smoothly. These are valuable qualities, don't get me wrong, but if they are the only qualities your manager sees, they can create a perception ceiling. Let me give you an example. I worked with a director of operations who was incredible at her job. I mean, she really excelled. She put me to shame. She could solve any operational challenge. Her team was the most efficient in the company, and she never missed a deadline. But when a VP of operations role became available, they hired someone from outside the company. When she asked for feedback, her manager said, "We see you as irreplaceable in your current role. You are our operations expert, but this VP role requires someone who can think more strategically about the future of our operations." So essentially, she was being penalized for her own competence, for her own brilliance. She was so good at the tactical execution that they couldn't see her strategic potential. And the frustrating part is that she had tons of strategic insights about operations. She just wasn't positioning them as strategic vision. She was framing them as operational improvements. So, how do you avoid the excellence trap? Here are 3 key strategies. First, start delegating your expertise. I cannot say this enough. This sounds scary, especially if your reputation is built on being the person who can solve complex problems. But if you're the only one who can do your job, you can't be promoted out of it. Start identifying the technical skills and knowledge that are unique to you and systematically teach them to others on your team. Yes, this does require investing time up front, but it's the only way to free yourself from being seen as tactically indispensable. Second, reframe your accomplishments in strategic terms. Remember Maria that I just talked about? Instead of discussing what she executed, she needed to discuss the strategic thinking behind her decisions. So instead of saying, "I improved our customer retention by 15%, try saying, "I identified customer lifecycle gaps that were costing us revenue, and I implemented a retention strategy that increased customer lifetime value across 3 product lines." Instead of, "I managed the software implementation project," try, "I led the digital transformation initiative that positioned us to scalable growth while reducing operational costs." It's the same work, but the second version in how you frame it demonstrates strategic thinking and organizational impact. Third, start taking on challenges that require senior leadership skills. This means volunteering for cross-functional projects, offering to lead initiatives that don't have clear parameters, and position yourself for assignments that require influencing people outside your team. Don't wait for these opportunities to be offered to you. Identify organizational challenges that need to be solved and propose yourself as the leader. This is where many women hesitate because it feels like overstepping. But senior leaders are expected to identify problems and step up to solve them, even when it's not explicitly their job. The goal isn't to stop being excellent at your current responsibilities. The goal is to demonstrate that your excellence comes from senior leadership capabilities, not simply middle management execution skills. Your manager needs to see that promoting you isn't about rewarding past performance. It's about leveraging strategic thinking that will drive future organizational success. Now that you understand what your manager is really looking for and why excellence alone isn't enough, let's discuss how to actively change their perception of you. 3 specific shifts will transform how you are seen in your organization. Shift 1, move from reporter to strategist. Right now, you probably update your manager on what you've accomplished, what challenges you're facing, and what you're planning to work on next. This positions you as someone who implements and reports upwards. Instead, start bringing strategic insights and recommendations. Before every one-on-one with your manager, ask yourself, what organizational opportunity or challenge can I address? What strategic insight can I offer? What recommendation can I make that goes beyond my immediate responsibilities? Instead of saying, we completed the Q3 customer analysis and found that satisfaction is down 3% in the enterprise segment, try saying the Q3 analysis revealed an opportunity to differentiate our enterprise offering. I see 3 strategic options for 2026, and I recommend we prioritize the integration enhancement because it addresses our 2 biggest competitive vulnerabilities. Notice the difference? The first version reports information. The second version provides strategic analysis and clear recommendations. You are positioning yourself as someone who solves organizational challenges, not simply team-level tasks. Shift number 2, become a solution owner, not a problem identifier. This shift is crucial, and it's where many women in middle management get stuck. We are often really good at identifying problems, gaps in processes, potential risks, areas for improvement, but identifying problems positions you as an analyst. Owning solutions positions you as a leader. When you bring a problem to your manager's attention, always come with multiple solution options and your recommended approach. Better yet, come with a solution you are already implementing and ask for their input on how to optimize it. So instead of, I think we have an issue with our cross-team communication, try, I've identified communication gaps that are affecting our delivery timelines. I'm implementing a new touchpoint structure with the product team and would like your thoughts on expanding it to our other key partnerships. You have moved from problem identifier to solution owner. You are demonstrating that you don't simply identify issues, you take the initiative to resolve them. Shift number 3, expand beyond individual contributor to organizational influencer. This might be the most important shift yet, and it's often the hardest one for women because it requires stepping outside your comfort zone and your official job description. Start looking for opportunities to influence and drive results beyond your direct team. Volunteer to lead cross-functional initiatives. Offer to mentor other managers. Share your expertise with other departments. Get involved in organizational committees or task forces. But here's the key. Frame these activities as part of your leadership development and organizational contribution, not as extra work you are doing to be helpful. So instead of, I'm helping the marketing team with their customer segmentation project, say, I'm leading a cross-functional initiative to optimize our customer segmentation approach, which will impact both marketing effectiveness and customer retention strategies. This positions you as someone who naturally takes on organizational leadership roles, not someone who's just being helpful when they are asked. I want to be clear about something important. These shifts aren't about changing who you are or pretending to be someone else. They are about repositioning the work you are already doing and the capabilities you already have. You are not becoming more strategic. You are communicating your existing strategic thinking more effectively. You are not suddenly becoming a solution-oriented person. You are framing your natural problem-solving abilities as leadership rather than execution. The goal is to help your manager see what's already there. A senior leader who happens to currently be in a middle management role. But here's a word of caution that I have to share with you. Make these shifts gradually and authentically. If you suddenly start speaking in a completely different way, it will feel forced and it might backfire. So pick one shift to focus on, practice it until it feels natural, then layer in the others. And remember, these shifts should be supported by actual strategic thinking and solution-oriented behavior. You can't simply change your language. You need to genuinely start operating at that higher level of a senior leader. Okay, so as we head into October through December, the final 3 months of the year and prime time for performance reviews and 2026 planning conversations, here are 3 essential steps you need to take to position yourself as promotion ready. Step 1, make one strategic communication shift. Pick one of the 3 perception shifts we discussed and practice it consistently in every interaction with your manager. Whether that's bringing strategic insights instead of status reports, proposing solutions instead of identifying problems, or volunteering for cross-functional initiatives, choose one shift and commit to it for the next 3 months. Step 2, document your strategic impact. Start keeping a record of every strategic contribution, organizational impact, and senior leadership behavior you are demonstrating. This isn't about performance reviews. It's for your own confidence and clarity about your readiness. Most women underestimate their strategic capabilities because they don't track their contributions. Step 3, have the promotion conversation. Before your year-end review, schedule a separate conversation with your manager specifically about your promotional readiness. Ask directly, what specific steps should I take in 2026 to move into a senior leadership role? Then listen carefully to their responses and make sure to take notes because you want to review those and make sure that you are hitting every one of those points. So these 3 steps will give you momentum. But here's the reality. Positioning yourself for promotion requires a comprehensive strategy that goes far deeper than what we can cover in a single episode. The women who successfully make the transition to senior leadership don't just implement a few tactics. They transform how they think, communicate, and show up as leaders. So if you are serious about making 2026 your breakthrough year, you need the complete strategic framework, personalized coaching, and consistent support that my Ignite Your Leadership Power Accelerator provides. That's where we dive deep into the mindset shifts, communication strategies, and positioning techniques that actually get you promoted. Remember this, promotion decisions are often made months before they are announced. The positioning work that you do in October through December will influence how you are viewed when opportunities arise in 2026. The most important thing you can do right now is start seeing yourself as a senior leader, currently in a middle management role, rather than a middle manager who aspires to become a senior leader someday. That mental shift will change everything about how you show up, how you communicate, and how others perceive you. Because let's be honest, if you don't see yourself as promotion ready, it's tough for anyone else to see it either. The women who get promoted aren't necessarily more qualified than you. They are simply better at positioning their qualifications and demonstrating their senior leadership capabilities before they have the official title. Now it's your turn to do the same. As we wrap up today's conversation, remember that being passed over for promotion isn't usually about your competence or your potential. It's often about perception and positioning, especially as a high-achieving woman. You likely already have the strategic thinking, leadership capabilities, and organizational impact to succeed at that senior level. The question is whether you are communicating those capabilities in a way that your manager can see and recognize. The next 3 months are crucial, my friend. Performance review season is the perfect time to change how you are perceived and position yourself for 2026 opportunities. But this requires intentional action, not just hoping that your good work will speak for itself or will be noticed. If you are ready to make this your breakthrough year, whether it's the end of 2025 or sometime in 2026, if you are tired of being overlooked despite your capabilities and ready to step fully into senior leadership, I invite you to register for the Ignite Your Leadership Power Accelerator, which opens next week. This is exactly the kind of strategic positioning and confident leadership we master together in the program. Over 12 weeks, you will develop the mindset, communication skills, and strategic presence that transforms how you are perceived and how you present yourself as a leader. The women who join the accelerator don't just learn these concepts. They practice and embody them in real time with personalized coaching and support from an incredible community of ambitious women leaders. It's where strategy meets action meets results. So if you've been waiting for the right time to invest in your leadership development, now is the time. Your 2026 promotion isn't simply about being ready. It's about being seen as ready. And that's exactly what we'll ensure happens. And one more thing. If you want the complete strategic framework for all 5 areas where promotions are won or lost, go back and listen to episode 112, Why Hard Work Isn't Getting You Promoted. Because today we focus specifically on your manager's evaluation process. But that episode gives you the complete competitive picture of where others are getting ahead while good people stay stuck. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. I hope this conversation has provided you with new clarity about what your manager is truly looking for and has given you the confidence to demonstrate it effectively. Keep this in mind. You don't need permission to start positioning yourself as a senior leader. You need a strategy, and now you have it. Until next Thursday, my friend, I am Kele, reminding you that great communication is the foundation of inspiring leadership. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember to communicate to lead.